Africa is in turmoil, whether politically, whether socially, whether economically. She is being hard pressed. But the good news is Africa is not doomed. Africans can still redeem Africa. Whether today, whether in the future, it is possible. And this is a big topic, but I will try to just hit few things that I think I can talk about right now. My first concern will be on Liberia. First, I want to congratulate TU that put out a lot of students in the Maryland County area or around Liberia. I saw a lot of, graduation ceremonies, and it is heartwarming. I love it. Education is power, but only when people use the power of education to redeem themselves. And so that is it. The next question, after graduation, what is next? That is the biggest question for all times. And thanks, guys, for cooperating with your institutions, your teachers, and with correct departments for you to graduate. It feels so good. Next thing I want to hit on is the hatred that is in Monrovia. It is going from individuals and it is crossing party lines at the moment in time. That isn't worth it. Liberians are one. We have been one. And so we will keep it that way. The next thing I would love to say, particularly about President Weah, is that the hatred is too much. The hatred is too much. George Weah took a stand because Liberia has always been that way. Since 1847, Liberia has been that way. So we will always love people that want to take, a step to try. Nobody will solve Liberia's problem all in a snapshot. It is not possible. Definitely, it is not possible. So people that expected that in President Weah, they were grievously mistaken. And I must point it out that way. Liberia is all we have. No matter where we are on the face of this planet, Liberia is all we have. And nothing else. And Liberia cannot be broken down to have Liberia A, Liberia B, or C. It is all that we have. So it is upon us, this surviving generation, to do all it takes to build a country that we will pass off or that we will live in. It is all that simple. Collective guilt, I spoke about it the other day, and I saw few voices echoing the same thing. If any person, for some reason, humans are not perfect. Humans were built that way. So there are rooms to err, but that is not the end of the world. So when a person errs, tell the person, say, "Look, you are wrong," and or punish the person to the extent of the law available to that, act or that crime. But they should not involve people. I talked about it the other day, and I saw the boy who was speaking on some events that include, there is Muslim people, Islamic people, or something like that, or Christian people. Islam and Christianity have been, surviving in Liberia. The two institutions, the two religious philosophies have been working in Liberia for the good of all Liberians. And so at no point will we come to resemble the ugliness that we see in Nigeria or elsewhere. No, it will not represent and it will not promote our realities. There is not going to be religious hatred. So what I do notice is that even some government officials, a prominent Liberian, a former First Lady, Joel Taylor, was trying to promote a Christian state. And these are places where this kind of hatred can start. Liberia should be a secular state. And because we prioritize all religions, we have the Nebada, we have the animists, we have the atheists, we have Christianity, we have Islam, we have all the rest of the world's religions. So at no time will people say there is going to be an Islamic state of Liberia or a Christian state of Liberia or a Buddhist state of Liberia. No. There is a basis that will sustain, fight. And we have to disengage with this type of, mistaken views and beliefs. We are all Liberians, regardless of political affiliations, regardless of religious affinity, regardless of age, regardless of sex. We are Liberians. We will be so now and going forward into the unknown. So at no time when somebody does something, it is that person that did it. It is his limitation. We have to hold that person accountable. We can't see religion to be in that person. We did so in the past, and we all know what it did to us. Collective guilt is not a good thing. President Weah rose above party lines to be the president. He did what he could, and no man can do better than his best. But some people are seeing all the evils, all the failures, of that country since 1847, and they want to place it on an individual. And there is abject hatred. Some of us will not stand by to tolerate it. We have to give our voices to it too. We have to give our voices to it. The corruption that there, the non-commitment to public service. It's too much in Liberia. We can change because we know those things now, so we can change. The only time we cannot change if we don't know, but now we know. We have lots and lots of educated people. So it is their duty to single out those problems that culminated in our failures and write policies that will make that country great. We want to make Liberia safe, and we want to make Liberia great. All it is within our powers. If we fail to think wisely, then we will be in the same slot, like a dog chasing its own tail, and it will never get away. Liberia should not be in this. Liberia's population now at maybe 8 million people. It's grown. So everywhere you see a bunch of people. We count the population. We determine the population by the number of people that we see in the street. At any time, it can be on the village, it can be anywhere. And I saw that when President Weah was touring the country, in his third year, anywhere he went, there were people. He was greeted that way. And so Liberia is no longer under 2 million people. It is getting bigger, and it will always get bigger by the population. So if appropriate plans are not made to accommodate the growing population, then it will be difficult. It will be difficult. So we have to write out sound policies. We have to put hatred aside. Weah is not the first leader of Liberia that anybody will get up and say they are blaming him for failing to do so or failing to do that. And Weah is great, and most of us that follow, Liberian politics, we know Weah is a great president because what he did, the other person that was listening, is cutting away. Weah cannot be hated. He can't be the child that left on ground. He came to office. He did a very great job. Things like paying for WAEC, paying for higher education for people to attend college free. These are not easy achievements. The opportunity has been there, but people have been squandering. And it's not even Ellen Sirleaf that started to squander the opportunities in Liberia. It has always been like that. And we didn't take notice for a long time. So students have always struggled until Weah came to power and say, look, the government can always help. We have immense, resources. So students are supposed to be given some liberty. And that policy is still continuing. And some guy was asking, what has Weah done? Weah has done better by enforcing on that policies. Throughout his term, he was paying that. And I'm thankful to Joseph Boakai for maintaining that. This is what we call standardization or recalibration. Not every policy that we are, put forth was great, but that one that stands out, Joseph Boakai is keeping it. That is a great thing. This is how people can run government. You see? But Joseph Boakai himself is, and I'm going to do a letter to him, is trying to lend his hand in the hate, propaganda. And I will be bold to say it like it is. Maybe people that follow him because they put out those kind of fake propaganda by using AI technology, and then Joseph Boakai was heard saying Weah presence or absent in the country meant nothing. He was grievously mistaken. That old man was grievously mistaken. Weah had done a lot of things. Weah was working with the disarmament committee, to bring forth people that were clinking to arms. That alone is a great achievement. Weah is Liberia's peace ambassador. Nobody can, ride over this. Nobody can throw that aside. He has been a central figure, apart from his being president. So nobody can promote negative propaganda, and then we look on to it. We will shoot it out in our own way. Where is anything, that is good that happened to Liberia? He stepped into, he did a lot of things. So nobody is going to come over there and say, we are did this, we are did that, except the person was not soundly thinking. We are king, and what made him great is that when he came to office, then Unimil, ECOMO, all those people, they went. But from the onset of other administration, these people were there. That's why he had to, he had the legal right to hold the previous regime. Ellen Sirleaf and Joseph Boakai. They are the corrupt people on the earth. On the surface of the earth. They are corrupt. They were supported. They were not paying for policing activities. They were not paying for things like military service. Everything was done. And the people protected her presidency for 12 years. So she was not paying for defense. So where did the money go? And her administration, she and Joseph Boakai, they received the maximum, contribution from the global community. There is no benefit that we saw. No benefit. No nothing showing in the infrastructure. And then when some people get out here and then they come over the internet to spew negativity, to spew hatred, and they, want us to just go like that, it's not, the way to go. It's not the way to go. We have to rise above petty jealousies and petty politicking. It will not get Liberia anywhere. That when somebody get, up in the morning when they have, their stomach is filled, and then they go and talk about we are, that must cease. It's not what's standing in our way. It is already past, except some people are embarrassed that we will come back and show he will. We has the number. We has love, from the Liberians. He commands respect, so he will come there. So some other guy who's supposed to have gray hair in his private areas coming, we are not coming back. What you will do in your own power? Let's give democracy a chance. Let us do. It is not the ballot box that is speaking, but an individual want to place his sentiment, above any other. Because when you're talking over the internet, we talk about possibilities, something that will happen. You can't control anything else besides yourself. Say, we will campaign so you can come back to power. But why will you do so? It is unproductive. If you are stopping another person, to experience what they are thinking. We will come back. We will come back to presidency. So those things that he didn't do, he can do them. That's it. So I don't want somebody, to be walking ahead of what is to come. Nobody lives in the future. The future is just a kind of, shapeless time. It never arrives. Today was a future in the past, many, many years ago, even yesterday. So we don't know what tomorrow will bring. So if Weah comes back, those things, he made mistakes. Every individual can make mistakes. Even Joseph Boakai, he had been making mistakes for 43 plus years in his administration. Was he always doing good? No, he wasn't. And on his watch, Genghis Khan died in the street. A very, very, very honest minister to President Doe. And because of that, they isolated him, and then he died in the street. But when he was sick, this weird that he was saying, we are present or absent meant the same thing. We had to borrow the small money in the national coffers to give him $150,000. He is not acknowledging that. That is being ungrateful. I will not, I will not be afraid to tell him it, and people that are associated with him, and they are going to hear my voice. We are, show his sense of loyalty and sense of human freedom and dignity, and give him from something. They are not even accounting for it, and Joseph Boakai is living. Had it been Ellen Sirleaf, would let Joseph Boakai to die in his condition. We have said no. So there is something, personally he may be regretting. So we have to look here and there. And those people that are saying negativity about Weah, they must be careful. They must be careful. They must be careful. Even people that we are put in government, they coming up like Fangon. He coming up, there is mature government, but we are inviting him in the government. He had a chance to meet Weah one-on-one. Why didn't he go to Weah and say, look, this is what we need to do? So Fangon is a failure. Fangon is a failure. He shouldn't be coming over the social media to be talking things about Weah. He is also a part of the failure. So he shouldn't be coming to say negativity. Say something that will make sense to the people. We are all alive and watching. We are all alive and watching. So if the chin is bending somewhere, we should be able to correct it. It doesn't make sense of Fangon, who is now LBS director, to even be standing for Weah to even hear him. Mature government. So no matter how mature Boakai will be, he will not solve all the problems. People are even complaining again. He building something using funds that he got some kind of way is not to the notice of everyone in his government. So Yeka Koluba is making out the difference. Look, gentlemen, so we can't, harbor hatred. Leave Weah alone. Whether he's coming back or not coming back, God will tell, or time will tell. So this hatred is going somewhere. Somehow, some people declare him dead. This is how far the hatred has gone. And people are talking about it on the social media and on the global media. It's bad. It's bad. Liberians need to study anew and do things that will promote our unity. That's all I have to say. There are a lot of things people are not still understanding. There are many people that on the social media that can call Joseph Boakai's name, even going to his parents. And I can say, no, it can't be like that. This man has been elected. Let him have peace. The only thing we can do is to work with him to do the best, because he happened to be the president. That's it. But to pin down Weah with insult, with indignity, I don't see that it will take us anywhere. And hatred will get us something very bad again. If people don't tone their emotion down. Thing like, religious, thing that they pushing, Islamic people doing this, they are doing that. No. The person that does the crime, the person that misbehaves, that's the person you must talk about. It's not his religion. And nobody should set up or create a stage whereby will be in sectarian violence. It will not end. But right now, Liberia is at peace. Things are normal. So Liberians are going about their normal activities. Joseph Boakai has not even done anything. He never fought. We are not seeing the reality. The free post is still not liberated. So when I shape something, it will go through Guinea or it will go through Sierra Leone before it's routed to Liberia. And Liberians are shaping. They know what I'm talking about. Lebanese to be in our economy, to control the gateway to the Liberian economy. It is sad. It is sad. It is spelling the death of a country. You know? And so we have to take time. What to do? Joseph Boakai has not fought yet. He never, does anything. He just talk, and no action. We want to see action. We want to see liberation. We want to see definition. But so like Weah is a great man. I will say, I will not be afraid. He's a great man. He made mistakes. Yes, he did. But he's not the only one. But at this point in time, when we look at records, people that served, that had all the degrees they thought they had, that's not, so where is Liberia? Where is not the first leader? And then some shady people will always be, talking bad about Weah. Who is perfect? Who is perfect? So we have to take time. We have to take time how to blame other people and not ourselves. We have to take time in blaming other people for their shortcomings when we are not doing anything. I think and I feel we have to pray that's all for the good things to happen to our country, for more good people to come into government. We have to be inclusive and not exclusive. Corruption must stop. People are still corrupting. People are still corrupting. Joseph Boakai has a record too. Not a record of imperfection, but there are other things he's not doing right too. And there is noise behind him. Otherwise than that, people like Yega Koluba will not stand in the open to cause him up. But there is something he's doing that is not resonating. So people come and, to denigrate the president. So people that are following Weah and people that are following Joseph Boakai, they have to take time so they can put this, Liberia into confusion. Liberia was locked up in confusion for years, and people died. And we are talking about the about 3,250,000 to 3,000. 300,000 people. So that is a lot. Even if there have been 10 people, we do not have great population. Even if we had, that is not acceptable. And so we have to be careful what we going to post forward, whether it resembles wisdom or it resembles stupidity. The world will judge us. The people behind us, the next generation of people, will judge the actions that we are taking today. And I guess everybody will want, good record. People must talk good about us. But there is a time now that we have the opportunity, we have the education, we have everything that we ever needed to make good judgment and to also do things that will benefit ourselves and to leave a deposit of goodness that other people are going to follow. And those are the words on Liberia for now. Leave Weah alone. Nobody is perfect. And Weah will one day come back, to presidency. So people who are saying he will not come, don't say it in your own power, because this is how hatred can develop. I saw a girl, Joseph Boakai own daughter, if the heart of Foya. She was saying Joseph Boakai can't come to power, and she was betting. I don't know whether they killed her, but nobody wish her death. She said, if Joseph Boakai become president, you're going to kill me. So I'm sorry, I'm not in Liberia. Because when somebody says something, it must be pushed, to reality. If I were in Liberia, that girl would not, live in peace. Because I will make sure that she suffer the consequences for her stupid statement. You are not God. You are not the ballot box. You do not represent the choices of everybody. When people elect, people go to election to elect an official. You are not all those people. So why will you say that? And it went, it went to perfection. Joseph Boakai won. So why must she still have the right to be walking among human beings? That is an example of hatred. Nobody can prevent Weah to come to power. Nobody. In their own private capacity. Or will class you as a rebel. Because that rebel who opposes anything. Anything good. You become a rebel, will treat you like that. So we subscribe to democracy. A government of the people, a government by the people, and a government for the people. So the practice here is election. This time it's the secret ballot box, where the ballot is sitting somewhere and you go cast your ballot alone. Nobody can be with you. That's why it is. So at the end of the day, so the person elected will not know you say, hey, Napoleon told did not vote for me. So I will harbor hatred for Napoleon too. No, it's not that way. The ballot is sitting somewhere, and then you go and cast your ballot. For Weah, for Boakai, for any other person. And so you keep your mouth shut. When the election comes, when the result is announced, then you know, hey, Joseph Boakai won, and it's not George Weah. But that is the culture, and that is the tradition of democracy. We have to respect it. You can't stand in the open and say negativity about somebody who has tried his best to do something. Where were you? They had the same life we had. They had the same opportunity we had. And we ran in the open. And there were 24 contenders. And we are one. So anything can happen. So Liberian people say, election is a biscuit. It can break anywhere. And I take it to be a very good, saying. So we can miscategorize people that stand out in the population, people that have rendered services that we are talking about. Weah has done his best to bring Liberia to that stage. He did his best. Nobody was fighting in the bush. And that's it. He maintained security. You see? So when UNIME pull out, some people say, oh, this place is going to be a messy place. Weah stood on his feet and made sure the military, our military, got paid, our paramilitary got paid, things were on time, people got salary, people benefited, more people benefited. So nobody can, trash that reality. And we will not sit by to see it happening. No matter, we can be in minority, but the fact should be the fact. And that's it. And so the topic here is Africa is in turmoil. But only Africans can save Africa. And it is a fact. It is a fact. The African Union has a responsibility to take action to ensure that peace and unity prevail on the continent, our motherland. They can't sit by and Europeans or the Americans worry about African problems. Right now, there is a humanitarian crisis in Nigeria. And President Trump is worried, or the American people are worried. Barack Obama was worried about the xenophobia in Nigeria. In fact, he offered to go there to take action militarily. And then they said, no, we are going to solve it. Good luck. Jonathan was saying we are going to solve it. We are a sovereign country, and so we are going to control it. Since that time, the xenophobic action has never stopped. Every time, the mayhem is continuing, and it is pathetic. And so when will that stop? Right now, Donald Trump is worrying. Yesterday, Joseph Barker was bothered by that. These people can be in the offices and then they see mayhem happening to humanity. People that look like, them, and then we sit down and then we having peace while other people are in turmoil. And so, African Union can be playing blind eye to what is happening on her own foot. They have to take time. U.S. people want the U.S. to go and intervene. It looked like a good plan, but it comes at a cost, not only in materials, but in humans. We know what it has cost the U.S. to enforce peace in Vietnam, in North Korea, in the African Republic, Somalia, and anywhere like Iraq, like Afghanistan, because of some people abusing human rights, just as it is being done in Nigeria. But like this time, we are able to think about all the casualties, the human beings that were brought back to America in bags. We don't want to see this happening at any time. And so when, President Trump is thinking about taking action against those xenophobic Islamic militants, so, we start to reflect how many people are going to die if they went there. And the fact is, Nigeria is big, and Nigeria is armed to the teeth, and Nigeria is populated more than Vietnam, populated more than North, and South Vietnam combined. I mean, South and North Korea combined, populated than Somalia, and populated than Iraq and Afghanistan. But we lost people in those areas that I'm talking about. So how much more? How much more in Nigeria that is populated than those countries that I'm saying? So it will be like the killing rate will go up. We know how many people suffer in Beirut. That time, American soldiers died more than 300 people. So we don't want these things to happen. So like I am afraid that the US will be going to Nigeria because that bloodbath there. Bloodbath. The use of arms and ammunition. It will decimate people. Whether they were part of the Boko Haram movement or they were ordinary people. So it is pathetic, and I will suggest this time the American, big people, they have to see reason, because Nigeria is armed. It is Africa's nuclear power. So if they go there, we will be crying here again if anything goes wrong. But African people can solve this problem here. They can solve it without American people, shedding blood on our continent. It is very, 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 it is obvious. Nigeria is big, and Nigerians can manufacture, arms and ammunition. So they don't need supply, and so it's going to be catastrophic. And Nigerians are trying to exaggerate what is actually happening. This morning, I saw a video posted where caskets were displayed on the social media, and the bodies are well dressed, like the way I appear here, well dressed. So I said, there is a person that was killed, was said to be murdered by these xenophobic militants, but the person dressed, they saw a baby, somebody who is something like maybe less than 2 years, and then is in a long casket. I saw it now, I started laughing. I said, hey, this AI technology. So they have to tell us the truth, and they have to actually put up resistance against these Islamophobic people, to subtract their numbers too. But these people are working free. And Nigeria says it has, a military, that they were taking part in global affairs, keeping peace. They help Liberians. But peacekeeping comes at the cost. How many Nigerians die in Liberia? We don't know the number, but so many of them. Because the Liberian, militant, the Liberian rebels, subtracted them too. So American people supposed to be very, very mindful of that, of how many people going to die again. Some mothers will be bleeding again. So President Trump, I'm going to do a letter to him, open letter. It is a noble idea to feel for people, but when the people are capable, they're supposed to solve their own crisis. And African Union is there. They have to help. Africa is the second largest continent on the face of the earth. But if they are, if the leadership is not responsible, then who else? Who else must? So these are the complications this world is experiencing. But we have to break them down so that every region is supposed to be responsible. That is what we call international cooperation. We can't let one group of people, the Americans, acting all the time, since humanity. China sits back to reap the reward. China sits back to reap the reward of American action, where they build the military base in the middle of the ocean during World War II, when Hitler threatened everywhere. Chinese were still not, able to do anything, but they want to take over every place on the face of the earth. And then they're telling, Trump he cannot go to Nigeria. So I said, but where are the Chinese? What have they been? Look at small little tariffs that, Trump put on them. They were eating a lot of shit, and so, and people saying China will do that, China will do that. What is it able to do? They never resettle people because they themselves don't have enough to eat. Only the American people taking action. When they see people distressed, then they go there and bring people. This will end. Trump ran on the platform that America was not going to invest in war. So therefore, he has to look at that option that intervening in Nigeria will cost the American people, not only in money and materials, but the human cost. And Nigerians are bellowing. They say if they see American people, this is what they are going to do, this is what they are not going to do. So that is telling the hatred that our people will be met with, the young Marine will be met with, is showing. So there is a time, I know they will go in meeting, the government will go in meeting. I understood that, to decide only. So people like Ted Cruz, then they're supposed to think very well. Nigeria can solve their own problem. They are a capable country. And African Union, they have the backing of the African Union. So we have to know how to go about it. We already have a lot of catastrophes in America. The fire, the water, the tornado, the hurricanes, the tsunamis. We are going through it. We don't want to lose any other person somewhere else. And that is concerning. Okay, that said, Africa is still bleeding with problems. Our problem never ends. Our problem never ends. It's always going on and on and on and on. When it is not this, it is that. And it is concerning. And Africa has education, they study, they know every other thing. But what happened? That every time we will have a problem, a major problem. Sometimes it is a political problem. Sometimes it is an economic problem. And it is concerning. It is very, very, it is questionable. Where there is presence of education, where there is presence of mind, there must be sobriety. That's what I know to be the truth, and nothing but the truth. So it means that our mentality, our mindset is not correct. The African mindset is not correct. That's why we have problems. That's why we are not able to even conquer hunger. In many places, people are hungry. In many places, people are hungry. Like in my, country of birth, Liberia, people are hungry. They say they are hungry. But they get bushes. They get natural resources from the shore to the hinterland. Everywhere is green. The land is arable, arable land that people are supposed to go and plant corns, and then they want to eat things that they don't grow. It is part of our problem. These are the nightmares that exist in Africa. And nothing we are doing to contain or correct those things that are, that are running us out. Do what you are able to do. Do what is within your means. You cannot crave what you don't have. If you do so, you are creating a problem for for your very existence. If you don't grow rice, you will not eat it. If you have all the means of growing rice, grow rice and be eating it. Grow rice and be eating it. But you can say you are going to be eating rice when you can't grow it. Corns, potatoes, plantains, yam, every other thing can grow on Liberian soil. There weren't any, big equipment used, military equipment used on the Liberian soil. But we ourselves, Liberians, are destroying the country with our own hands. Cutting down the logs, cutting down trees that have been growing since 1,000 years. And then we say we're selling them for little cash. And then we leaving our place in destitution, where the logs are cut. They are miserable. And then they leave the land. Right now, the water is a problem. I saw some places submerging in the Greater Monrovia areas. People lost their homes. And I don't know whether it will stop. But they don't know. Those big trees that people cut, that we see on the lorries, cars carrying to the port, those big trees, you know the amount of gallons in them. So when you cut that tree, the water sinks back, to raise the water table. There is water everywhere, even below mountains. There are water. There, all the mountains, waters are all over. So when you cut a tree down, the water it holds will sink back. And what that will do is that it will raise the water table. So many places, low places, are covering up. They are not habitable. And we are experiencing that in the Monrovia area. And sooner or later, some communities are, going elsewhere to live, like in the West Point area. Anybody that got there, like Ophelia, like other people are told, they say, leave West Point, leave West Point. West Point is going down, and in about 20 years from now, it will be a very difficult place. It will be ocean. You can't live on the seashore and be happy that the sea will never come back. One day, it will come back. And it's coming back. It's eating the land. It's eating reclaiming the sandy beaches of West Point. So that is sign that it is showing. And we will know it. But if people continue to be there, they will be in the statistics tomorrow. So they have to see reason and move away. Places like Claratown and all that area, going to Matadi, and along those swampy area, they will be filled. So places like Somalia Drive will not exist. It will not exist. Freeport will not exist. It's in the water. And we are seeing these realities manifesting in other areas of the world. Say, north of the equator, they are happening. And we are seeing them here in this hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere is not spared. It will happen there, and it's beginning to happen. And so we have to be aware. We have to be aware of these environmental, problems. They will manifest, but only it will happen on the time designated. Who knows? It's just warning. And so, like Liberians, they have to go by the climate change thing that is being done, and the leadership is showing interest in going by the precaution race. But all in all, we have to do the best thing in Africa. We have to solve our own problems, not looking to shift the burdens of saving Africa to Western powers or Eastern powers. And that is my thought on it. Politicians must think better. When you eat, let other people eat. Even if they want you to say no, like my daddy Paul Biya. Paul Biya is working Nikki, but he won the election. So other people were saying, no, he cannot serve. So I said, but he won the election. He been winning. So there is none an exception. And the risk, a revolution, but it was baseless. And that I will thank the African leader for intervening. I will thank the African Union for intervening, both in Cameroon and in Tanzania. That woman, single woman, she's not a man, but she's stood to protect her position. To protect her position. And people say she's wicked. I say, no, she's not wicked. African people are like that. So she learned from the men. She learned from the men. And she is, getting by. She's getting by to consolidate her power. Even though it's not fine, but that is African behavior. And she is a middle-aged woman. She's been around for a long time. And she has known what Africans do, like in her nose right there. This man here, Yoweri Museveni. Yoweri Museveni came to power a long time ago, like, the lifetime of some of us. He is just there. Even though he did well, Uganda was experiencing political, instability. It is Paul Biya who stood to give Ugandans peace. People like Tito Okello, Matiza, they were just, going up, going down, going up, going down. Idi Amin, this other guy here, Oboti, all of them were having stake. They say if you can become a president, then you can become somebody. You can become somebody without being a president. So what is so much about presidency in a country? It is not a very sweet position, but people know they want to corrupt, so they want to come to power to control everybody. It's a public thing. But that's why people talk so in Africa. If I'm not president, then I can be another thing. It's poor mentality. The African mentality is very, very faulty. It's faulty. It has fault. There's, faulty thought that ruins the minds of most politicians. They want to be in position. Organize business and do it. But African mentality is just very bad. We are going to correct those. We are going to comment. The human mind is blessed. And on top of it, God gave everybody a voice. So everybody needs to make the voice work for him or her. And as a group, our voices must mean something for the survival of all Africans. If it is not right, we cannot say it. If it is right, we must stand to push that narrative. The power of blessing or the power of death, life or death, lies in the power of the tongue. If you want to be a good person, if you want to be rich, it's all on your tongue. Say, I'm rich. If you want to be something else, say it. It will be. And so Africans can no longer, pretend not to have what it takes to be great. They already have it. They know book. Our people say they are educated. So we have to use the voice that we have to give us the place we need to be. But our progress as African people, our progress is painfully slow. We are seeing too many things happening: xenophobia, military coups, mayhem, and so it is too much. Africans need to work together to solve problems that they are encountering. For me, and I will say it now, U.S. intervention in Nigeria, it will be very catastrophic. It will be deadly. Let's pray for President Trump. He should make a good decision. His government should make good decision. We don't want to see body bags coming to America again. It happened during the Iraq time, Afghanistan, and then young soldier, 19 years, fine American boys, but they were just pushing ideology war, and then they came home, their parents are disconnected from them, and so Nigeria is such that place. If they can divide the country so that Christians are one side and Muslims are one side, it will be a good thing. And we have to condemn everything that is going on that is taking human life. Muslims are target too. If they don't reason with the Boko Haram militant, they kill them. They kill them too. Because Islam is about peace. So there are some people in Nigeria, though they are Muslims, they are fighting against the Boko Haram. But right now, everybody has bought into the rumor and the narrative that it is the Muslim people that are pushing the Boko Haram. That is propaganda. The bad people, the Boko Haram, they are doing that thing to humans, not Islam. But we are confused. We are not there. And that's what they say. But even from the distance, we know the face of lies and we know the face of truth. Like what I saw unfolding before me this morning, that the small little 2-year-old was in a long casket. Was the casket made already? So lies are all in this. So American people are not going to go down there to die again. African Union can, solve that problem within a snapshot. So we are not going to let people go in there to die. That will be my thought this morning. People should stop lying. People should stop the hatred in Liberia. Africa needs peace. It's a great place. We need to serve our own humanity. Napoleon told in Oregon. Have a great day. Bye.